Alrighty, guys, welcome to the best swing trading channel on YouTube. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Welcome to the live. In today's live stream, we are going to be talking about stocks with opportunity, stocks for holding positions, the mindset for this week, how I go ahead, set alerts, be prepared, all the stuff you need as a trader. I always imagine the week ahead like a football team ready to go into like the Super Bowl, right? They have a playbook, an offensive playbook, a defensive playbook. You have to have, and put in the work. You're the result of your actions as a trader. So for me, this is one way that I try to just get an edge over other traders, to be quite honest with you. So smash that like button, subscribe. But if you guys want to learn more about trading, check out our school. It's called the Swing Trading Masterclass. We got private live streams, quizzes, lectures, a group chat. But more importantly, we actually teach you to trade. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not alerts or anything like that. It's honest strategies that I've learned over the past 7 years. So check it out down below, and you guys can get 50% off by using code FALL. Code FALL. So check it out. Let me make sure we are good to rock and roll. Send it to the team here. All right, enough with that. Let's jump into this here. So the first thing here that I kind of want to talk about when it comes with trading is setting these realistic expectations. A lot of traders think that, once you learn, a strategy, you have that strategy for life and you can just make millions. No, the market constantly changes and your strategy will constantly change, and I think that's very important as a trader. The second you think you know everything about trading, that's the second the market takes something from you. And so you got to be a constant student no matter how long you've been a trader in the market here. So we'll talk about stocks with opportunity here first. And one other thing, the broker I am using is Moomoo. They're a great broker. I've been using them for years. And yeah, I'll put a link to them down below. You guys can get up to 60 free stocks just by signing up. So feel free to sign up. They're awesome. They offer, paper trading. They offer everything you need as a trader. So check them out. All right. So stock number one that I kind of like here is Palantir. This is a AI, software, big data company. But, just by looking at the pure sell-off, right, we've seen a dip from 190 down to, what is this, 154 area. That's a sell-off of 18% from highs. Now, just because a stock sells off doesn't mean that you buy it. So, I do want to pull up some of our other indicators like moving average lines, and we have the RSI line already up. So you guys can see that it's really trading right now near and around that 50-day EMA line. So that yellow line, which I want to see what it's right here. It's trading at about a 43 on the RSI. Last time it was trading for that was back in this range where we saw some good buying pressure. 50-day moving average line has seen tendencies of support. So let's go to like a lower time frame and see how this thing is looking here. So, the 1 hour, we can kind of see just that pure sell-off, from what looks like, I'm not sure if it was a bad earnings or what caused it. Maybe a little just overvalued play here, but now we can see that trend line is kind of looking like a little bit like this, a little breakout there. So let's remove that. Now, as far as something like this, that's what I kind of would say right here. So enter, if we entered at 156, keeps, stops below 142 for a push up to 190. Wouldn't it be a bad little move here? Let's go ahead and see. So entering here, right, let's go ahead, set our target up here at, almost around highs. We'll go 180, keeping stops below around here. So that's about a 2-to-1 risk and reward. Not too bad. It's better than a 1-to-1 for sure. But yeah, so definitely Palantir. That nice hourly support looks pretty decent. All right, stock number 2 is Costco. Costco, if we look at the daily, let's go ahead and pull it up. The daily here. Whoa, let's go ahead, pull up the daily here. I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to use the Mac. So sorry if it just kind of spazzed out there for a second. But We can see here that it's trading around that 200-day moving average line, which is a recent tendency of support for the stock. It's trading at about a 40 on the RSI, sold off from 1,000, to 942. Looking at lower time frames here, let's go ahead, pull up the hourly. And what I mean by I'm not used to this, I did get a new Mac, an iMac, and I did have a Windows computer. It just stopped working. So the software is a little different, to be honest. So, and this mouse here is kind of a pain in the neck here. But anyways, Costco, good sell-off. For me, I would set an alert probably around, the 950 range, in that range here. So if it does, pop up, we can just throw an alert there, ready to rock and roll for a breakout. Another stock, Walmart. Walmart here, looking at that daily, good trend line, right? You can see that parallel trend. So if we remove those moving average lines, let's go ahead and just remove them. You can see just a huge support on that trend. So we could see a move from, 96 to about 104, which is a pretty good risk and reward there. Plus the RSI is at a 42. We could see a nice move here. It's already starting to curl its way up. So definitely one to leave on watch. Then we got Microsoft. Microsoft just kind of got some huge sell-off, right? If we go ahead and we get those indicators back up, it's trading on that 50-day EMA line, so definitely think it could be a little pullback opportunity. Another one here is FINV. I like just the pure support of the 200-day moving average line, right? It hits it once, twice, again, 3 times. We could see a move from $8 to about $9.75. Good risk and reward. I do think it's important to set an alert. So let's go to like a lower time frame. Let's go to that hourly. We have just that general downward trend here. So something like this wouldn't be too bad. So we'll throw an alert, in this range. And then we can always adjust it, but I think it's important to just get something set in stone. And if you guys are watching, feel free to check out our school, sign up with Mumu, and make sure you guys like the video. We are going live a lot more, so stay tuned for all of that. But this one here, SAP, this one here, if we look at like the daily, another 200-day moving average play, I think this one would be important to do more of a daily trend line, in my opinion. And what I mean by that here is right around something like this, is that hard resistance. So if we throw an alert above here, boom, ready to rock and roll. Then we got CrowdStrike, huge sell-off, still above the trend. So we could see a move in the next couple of days. We got RSG rallying its way up. Important day over the next couple, honestly, this week. Then we got EPR, another one that's kind of just right in that little trend line, good sell-off. So yeah, but that's pretty much the stocks that we are watching, guys. Nothing too crazy, keeping it simple, stupid. But any questions, feel free to ask. And as far as holding, really not holding, too much other than a lot of more blue chip, well-established companies, really the same positions that we've been holding now for a minute. No real pure incentive to sell. So we're just going to continue to hold those out, see what happens with that. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, follow, do what you guys do, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.